The Challenger is a breath of fresh air, there's no denying that. The powertrain of the motorcycle, that includes the engine and everything that's responsible for putting that power on the ground, was created by a 30-year-old which enjoys racing motorcycles. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Challenger was designed by a Swedish guy, Ola Stenegard, which is well known for designs such as BMW's R90 and their crazy S1000RR. So it's safe to say that Indian really wanted to raise the bar when it comes to the American bagger, and their final result is this, the 2020 Challenger. Now the guys from Indian in charge of designing the new Challenger are open fans of BMW's 6-cylinder K1600 bagger. They also openly admit that the German bagger wasn't the bike they were going after when designing the Challenger, but aimed it more towards the best-selling big bike in America, the Harley-Davidson Road Glide. Oh, now I see it. Let's see what they've managed to do. Now, the real star of the show here is the new 108 PowerPlus engine. At 108 cubic inches or 1769 cc's, it puts out 122 horsepower at 5,500 RPM with peak torque of 128 pound-feet or 173 Newton meters at 3,800 RPM. Considering that in the Challenger the engine will purr along at 70 miles per hour at just 2,800 RPM, you have plenty of reserve torque available to you for confident passing. Indian stated that today riders are finding running out of breath less acceptable because so much riding takes place on freeways, where higher speeds emphasize mid-range acceleration as well. For this, a rainbow-shaped torque curve can do better than just keep up with traffic. The engine needs to have a healthy reserve of acceleration even at high speeds in order to inspire confidence in the rider. Power is sent to the rear wheel through a 6-speed constant mesh transmission with an overdrive top gear and a cable-actuated wet assist clutch. Now, because touring riders do a ton of miles, it really isn't on their agenda to pause for an expensive dealer valve clearance adjustment at the halfway point of their journey, so Indian have designed the new PowerPlus to use hydraulic lifters, eliminating the need for those pesky valve adjustments. Even with liquid cooling, the PowerPlus offers rear cylinder deactivation at stops to further reduce heat from the exhaust header beneath the rider. Top speed of the bike is restricted at 112 miles per hour or 180 kilometers per hour, and off the line, Indian says it'll pull 5 bike lengths of the bike it has set in its sights, the Harley-Davidson Road Glide. The Challenger is dominated by its huge front fairing, which also sports an electronically adjustable windscreen with a 3-inch range and a detailed arrangement of the LED headlight, which looks distinctive enough to be spotted from literally a mile away. Hidden beneath the Challenger's 6-gallon or almost 23-liter fuel tank is a modular aluminium backbone frame. Suspension is handled by a non-adjustable 43mm upside-down fork with 5.1 inches of travel on the front and a preload adjustable hydraulic Fox rear shock with 4.5 inches of travel on the rear. Wheel-wise, the bike rolls on a 19-inch cast wheel on the front and a 16-inch on the rear, while stopping power is provided by a pair of big 320mm front rotors connected to a 4-piston Brembo monoblock. Now, when it comes to electronics, the Challenger is no slouch either. It seems to have broken free of the status quo, which has plagued this motorcycle segment forever and included quite a bit of kit. The feature which Indian prides themselves with the most has been aptly named Smart Lean technology. It's basically a sensor on the bike which allows the computer to know exactly what the bike is doing in 3D space. This is very useful to know, for example, in order to control the way the ABS works when the bike is perfectly level compared to when the bike is leaned over at an angle. Linked together with all of the other sensors on the bike, the computer can decide how to actuate the ABS pump depending on the speed, angle, and input from the rider in order to keep the bike upright and to shorten the braking distance. This is by no means a new innovation by Indian, it's just an off-the-shelf component from Bosch which Indian has integrated in the Challenger. Bosch has been making these inertial management units for years and they are integrated into most modern motorcycles. The rider aids, which the bike now has thanks to the Bosch IMU, are cornering ABS, traction control and 3 different riding modes: Sport, Standard and Rain, which basically adjust the throttle mapping and traction control. Indian's new 7-inch touchscreen has been dubbed Ride Command and they say it's the largest touchscreen on 2 wheels. On all but the base version, you get 2 years renewable connected services that feature weather and traffic overlays, turn-by-turn navigation, key vehicle information, Bluetooth and USB mobile pairing, and to make everything snappy, a new quad-core processor to power it all. The Challenger offers enormous top-loading saddlebags with remote locking and a total storage capacity which also includes 2 small fairing pockets at 18 gallons or 68 liters. This should be enough storage space for most cross-country rides. Now the Challenger comes in 3 separate versions: a standard no-frills version, a blacked out dark horse version and a fully loaded limited version. The base version goes for $22,000 and as standard you get the titanium metallic color scheme only, ABS brakes, keyless ignition with remote saddlebag locks and the Ride Command infotainment system with a 7-inch customizable color screen and a 100-watt audio system. The Dark Horse version comes in at $27,500 and for that you get several matte colors with blacked out finishes, smart lean technology, navigation, a customizable route builder, connected weather and traffic services, and contrast cut wheels with tire pressure monitoring. The limited version comes in at $28,000 and it's available in several metallic colors and adds color-matched fender closeouts and highway bars. Availability of the Challenger in Indian dealerships will be starting from November the 5th, just 1 week after the launch, and nowadays this seems to be the anti-norm, with manufacturers making you wait months after a reveal until you can get your hands on one. So, well done there, Indian. In my opinion, Indian really has raised the bar in a motorcycle segment which really needed the bar raised. But what are your thoughts on it? I'm genuinely curious to find out, so let us know in the comments. I will be lucky enough to see the new Challenger in person at next week's EICMA show in Milan, so make sure you are subscribed to catch all of that goodness. And if there's anything about the bike you are curious about which hasn't been covered in this video, let me know in the comments. Well, that's the show, everybody. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. And if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming a patron to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.